Okay, so there are several formulas in Module 17, and it can seem really overwhelming, but what I want to show you is that there's not really that many different formulas that you might think that there really are. So what appears to be three totally different formulas: the quadratic formula, the vertex formula, and the discriminant formula. Really, all of those three are held in this quadratic formula. The quadratic formula gives you the most bang for your buck. It's one that you really, really need to have memorized because all of these other two are held within it. So remember, what the quadratic formula does is it finds the x-intercepts, right? It finds the two places, usually, sometimes only one, sometimes none, but it finds the places where this parabola is going to cross the x-axis. But if you look really carefully in it, the other formulas are held inside it. The discriminant is just the part that's underneath the radical. So if you remember the quadratic formula, all you need to remember then really is that what's under the square root is also the discriminant. And then also, what's held inside there is, look at this, the negative b over 2a. That is the same as your vertex formula. So just really focus on memorizing your quadratic formula, and if you remember it, you get the other ones for free. And how it works, how this works together is, let me switch back. So again, this vertex, the vertex is the very center point of your parabola. So you can find the x value that is the center of your parabola, and then you can plug that value back into your function and find the matching y. So this is just really fancy notation showing you how to find the xy point that is the center of your parabola. So let's say we found that point and that point fell here. Okay? Now looking at your quadratic formula, what that's saying is build it off of here. Build it off of this negative b over 2a. If you go from that point plus a certain amount and also minus a certain amount, that's where you should cross the x-axis. So think about that, what that looks like as a parabola. If I go from this plus a certain amount and also minus that same amount, I should land on the x-axis there. So that's these 2 points that the quadratic formula is finding for you. It finds you these 2 points. And of course, it will continue on up past that. But that's how it's built. That also, I guess there's even another formula. There is the axis of symmetry formula, which seems, again, as though it is another formula that you have to memorize. But it's not. It's just saying that, hey, if you cut this parabola in half, right through that vertex, right through that x value that you found over here, that's your axis of symmetry. So that same x value shows me where my center point is. If I cut it through that, I have to write this as a vertical line equation. I have to write it as x equals that number in order to make it look like a vertical line equation. But it's all referring to the same kind of area, the same quality of that parabola. So basically my overall end goal here is just to show you that what appears maybe to be 4 totally unrelated formulas that you have to try to memorize separately is all really one formula. So just memorize that quadratic formula. Learn it, say it over and over, write it down until you've got it. Write that down on your test paper first thing when you get it. And then just remember that all of the different parts for those other formulas are built in.